Hello everyone! This project is brought to you by Marie Gagnon, Karina Craig, Jessica Vervoot, Charissa Morales, and Shannon Lee. We hope you enjoy! So I am going to begin by discussing how the Chinese writing system came about. Chinese writing is actually one of the oldest forms of writing on the earth. It is as old as Egyptian hieroglyphics and the Sumerians' cuneiform, which was in Mesopotamia, for any of those wondering. So this makes it particularly a very old and ancient writing system because it's put up right there next to the Egyptian hieroglyphics. However, deciding or pinpointing exactly when Chinese writing began is very hard because unlike the Egyptians who put their hieroglyphics straight on the wall, the Chinese actually put their writing on silk, bamboo, and wood. These materials would eventually decompose, and so the writing on them would just basically go into the earth and then no longer would be able to be read because they're now a part of the earth. So because of that, a lot of the early Shang Dynasty's writing is lost forever. The Shang Dynasty is considered to be the first true dynasty, and it was kind of a dynasty that's a little small area. It's not all of China, between Korea and Taiwan. I'd refer back to the map there. That gives you a clearer point of where they are and where the other warring tribes were. But because of the fact that they used such biodegradable materials, what writings we do have come from archaeologists, since they were the first ones to find it on oracle bones. And if anyone's ever seen The Legend of Airbender, Last Airbender, then you know what oracle bones are. They're used to predict the future. And Katara needs to stop asking. So what you would do with oracle bones is you would write a question on the bone itself. So you'd make a little insert into the bone to, niche it in there, and then you would throw it into a fire. The diviner or the shaman or witch, whatever you want to call him, would then take it out of the fire and read it based on the cracks on the bone that were now there. And you could use the same bone multiple times. If you used one of your ancestors' bones, then it would be more willing to come with the correct answers and things like that. And so these are where we find our first real writings of Chinese writing. And they're really hard, as you can see from the picture there. They're hard to look at. They're like, I don't even know what half of those ones are, and I feel that I'm really good at reading characters. So looking at those, it's difficult to decipher them, and they kind of look just like pictures and then lines. And so in the corner there you can kind of see that I've got some sort of translation. It's not a translation of this particular bone, but it's got some of the symbols on there, and you can see how they kind of go from these pictographical pictures to what we now know as traditional characters that we're learning. And so it's very difficult to decipher these sometimes because some of the pictures are so far off from what the traditional is because they're so out there and so different. So that is where Chinese writing came from, the early to late Shang Dynasty period, which is around 2000 to 1200 BCE, before Christ, before Common Era, whatever you want to call it. But that is where the Chinese writing system came from, and it will eventually evolve into a cleaner, stricter writing system with the coming of the Zhao and the Qin dynasties to follow.
I am doing the radical ding. The meaning of ding is a tripod, but before it was called a tripod, it was a large three-legged bronze cauldron. The picture that I have provided above shows that is a pictographic character. It is shown that it has evolved into a cauldron from its original. History. In the early Bronze Age, ting was used instead of ding. Besides having 3 legs, it had 2 ears. This cauldron was used as a utensil in order to cook, eat, and store food. After that, it became a ritual offering. Stroke. This character has 12 strokes. In the first slide, it shows 1 through 6 of the strokes. In this next slide, it shows the next set of strokes, which is 7 through 12. Examples that have the word ding: geoding, wending, ding ding, fooding, dingli, and ding zhuo.
The next radical is shi. It means clan, family, or mister. The pictographic for this character was originally a picture of a clan totem on a post, and there are no other variants for this radical. It is listed as the 83rd radical out of 214. Some other common words used for this radical such as renshu, family name, and Celsius or centigrade. The stroke order consists of 4 strokes going from top to bottom, ending in our character that we know as shi.
The radical I decided to research was actually one we're all quite familiar with, which is ren. On the left you can see the traditional way, and on the right is more of the radical way of spelling it. Both stroke orders actually go left and then right. It's obviously a pictographic character that means man or people. In Hong Kong it's a grade level 1 character, and we often see it actually used in population as in renku, or you can even use it to describe someone as in gongke, as in worker. And the history behind the character, according to Bing actually, is that once upon a time it also had arms and a head. So I drew you a little description in red of what used to be on it, and the black is how we traditionally see the character now.
Chinese character Z. History of character. The Chinese radical Z means child or seed and is one of 31 Kangxi radicals that have a 3-stroke order. In Chinese astrology, Z represents the first earthly branch and also corresponds to the rat in the Chinese zodiac. The earthly branches provide just one Chinese system for reckoning time. This whole system is based on the planet Jupiter. The 12 earthly branches represent the earth chi. This refers to nature or destiny. The arrangement of the branches is based on the 5 elements and the yin-yang polarities. Zi is also said to be a picture of a child being covered by a blanket.